Hi, welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion from the Ketuvim or Old Testament. It gives me my name and the authority to champion the cause of the pot smoker and the drug user. It also gives me the authority to speak on behalf of the gray. Now, we're discussing part 8 of the 18th chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible and the 15th chapter of the Book of Zion. Now, on the last episode, I was in the middle of the dissertation on Micah 1-4. So I'm going to just pick up where I left off. The gray will award to the people so abused all unclaimed property, everything not yet bought. This will strip America of all of its abundance, and other nations too. The people of Zion will be given the Rocky Mountains, and all the foothills of the Rockies above a certain elevation, 15,000 feet above sea level, is, I believe, the appropriate elevation, which will provide the people of Zion a homeland of their own. I am placing our border at 15,000 feet because that will put it at the edge of the Ogallala Aquifer. This subterranean sea has been both polluted and depleted, to the point, I believe, of collapse. I theorize that the Grand Canyon was once just such an aquifer, which was depleted and perhaps polluted by the cliff dwellers of the Southwest, and subsequently collapsed. For that reason, I believe that 15,000 feet will become a natural border on our eastern side, being the elevation of the boundaries of the aquifer. Now, I remember reading about an ancient event that shook the planet and had a very horrific noise associated with it that was never explained. I believe that this was the collapse of the Grand Canyon Aquifer, but I do not remember the specifics and could not find references to it for this book. But, so, I may be mistaken. Perhaps someone will find this obscure reference for me. Or perhaps some geologist can look into the idea that the Grand Canyon might have once had a ceiling and water. That's what that's what I see when I look at it. I don't know. Now, awarding restitution to the people of Zion is a direct response to the all-out stripping of my people's belongings. The war on drugs has laws which give to the state the possessions of their victims. All property of value is claimed to be illegally obtained through criminal activity. And the restitution will be reimbursement for these losses. Now, most of the victims bought their things with hard-earned legitimate employment. Very few dealers that I know actually deal for a living. I've only met one. I myself worked full time while I ran the Temple of Zion. The actual people who deal drugs are hardworking Americans who pay their taxes and are not re- uh, represented by the government or in court. That makes the government thieves. This unjust treatment of my people is what has created our desperate anger. We are not given a voice or a chance to defend ourselves or our way of life. Up until now, there has only been one side to the war on drugs, the government's. The last two verses say that there will be a parable taken up against you, America. You will be utterly spoiled. He, God, hath changed the portion of my people. How he hath removed it from me. Turning away, he hath divided our fields. The spoiling of America will be and as and will be as predicted an evil time. The upheaval of our social order and the instantaneous fall from grace of the religions will indeed undermine the entire course of American history. The fall of an empire is a chaotic event. Society will reel from the shock of the rise of Zion. Psalms 7:3, Zion 15:35. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He hath ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Psalm 7:13 tells us that some people are, in this case, the people who persecute my people, will be exempt from entry into the nation of Zion. Lawyers, it appears, are unwelcome in Zion, and so are politicians for the most part, or at least those who can convict my people for the state and the nation. I do not make these rules, but refusing entry in to the people who sent us to prison makes a lot of sense. Now it says that more than just that exemption from Zion. It says that they have ordained arrows against them, so they are singled out for destruction. According to the next passage, Psalms 35:20, Zion 15:36, for they speak not peace, but they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land. Psalms says that because they sought out devices and deceitful matters against those who are quiet in the land. Now, we are the quiet ones. Our music may be loud, but we meekly submit to our horrific persecution. We did nothing to endanger the American public. We are not the unlawful ones who subjugate a poor people based on 80-year-old unproven set of allegations based on government propaganda. We have done nothing wrong. Proverbs 16:2, Zion 15:37. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. This next passage, Proverbs 16:2, points out that everyone considers his point of view to be right. We are all guilty of projecting our beliefs onto the world around us. We all judge each other based on our own perceived points of view, which we call facts. Just because a human says it doesn't mean it's real. We all, even me, even I, believe ourselves to be true, and our beliefs are also true to us. But the gray are empathic by nature. They don't just hear spoken words, they feel a person's inner dialogue. They um, may not always hear your thoughts, but they know your true intent and your true motivation. No one can lie to an empath as advanced as a gray. That is why mankind cannot deny the truth in regards to their motivations, at least to the gray, because the gray know your intent. Lamentations 3:33 to 35, Zion 15:38 to 40. For he doth not afflict willingly, nor grieveth the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. Lamentations tells us that the gray aren't enjoying any of this. They spent time to formulate the most logical method to save both themselves and their hybrid gray children. It wasn't the gray that went too far in regards to my people. Ronald Reagan came up with the war on drugs. He and all those who advanced his cause are the ones responsible for the cruelty, and I and my people endure and have endured since 1939. But Reagan is responsible for turning America into a battlefield. It was not the gray who chose to imprison millions of innocent gray humans who were never a true threat to anyone. On the contrary, my people are the best hope for the human race. The gray reject the cruelty of the human race towards their children that they created. Lamentations 4:22, Zion 15:41. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away captive. Lamentations 4:22 ends the chapter saying that the advent of the gray will herald the end of the war on drugs once and for all. From Zion will not again suffer imprisonment for her part in the realization of the nation of Zion. The war on drugs is over. The songs of the temple will once again ring true, expressing the joy of life, not the violence of enraged screams of a people who are under siege by their own government for being who they are. The only reason my people scream in song is because those in power abuse us without mercy or proof of right to do so. The war on drugs ends when then our music will sing joy, not scream for war. So ends the dissertation of the 18th chapter of the Pot Smoker's Bible and the 15th chapter of the Book of Zion. Next time, we will do the reading. Until then, may the gray watch over you, protect you, guide you, and keep you from all harm. May you always be worthy of them. May your words, thoughts, and deeds reflect truth, light, and good. Stay happy and high. Know that I love you. I will see you later. Later, because I'll never say goodbye.